Hey friends, it's podcast day. It's podcast day again. Welcome in. Welcome in, my friends. I thank you so much for coming by my channel over here at heyBrownBerry's corner of the YouTubes. I'm happy to be back for the third day in a row, checking in with those of you who care to be here with me. And I thank you for spending this time. Today's topic of discussion is the basket. Capital T, capital B. I am in my craft room. Behind me is the futon where I tend to sit and stitch. And in this room lives all of my stuff. I have immense gratitude for having a space in the house where I can put all of the making things that tickle my fancy, and usually I can put my hand to whatever it is I need. And that's a really good thing. You might find this too. Because I have space, I tend to fill that space. Is that also something you deal with? As part of filling up the spaces in this room, I do reorganize sometimes and try to put things that are alike together. And so I've collected a set of project bags. Let me just pause for a moment here and say that the idea for this video came about because I am currently in a process of reflection and review. It's December 2020, very common time for me to take a look at things a little more closely when it comes to my making. But even as I'm talking now to you, to this camera, I'm nervous to look into this basket that I'm about to show you. It's right here behind me. I'm nervous because I've used this particular basket to store a set of project bags. And in many of those project bags, I am keeping yarn and in some cases patterns as pairings that I thought would be great for projects I wanted to start. So basically it's a basket of incompletion. I'm resisting all feelings of shame around that. I reject it. And I am instead choosing to purposely revisit this basket and what's in it as a way to decide what I'm going to keep as a project plan and what I will either repurpose or take out of the queue, if you will. Before we dive into that, I've really enjoyed sharing with you over the last few days a couple of the things that I wear as cool weather accessories. So today, again, I'm wearing a hat and a neck covering, which is very common for me, even when I've got short sleeves on. If I want to stay warm, I love having my neck and chest covered and my head covered. Keep all the warm air inside. And today I'm wearing the Dulcie Hat by Woolly Wormhead. As usual, the details for this will be in the description box below this video. And if you're not familiar with how I feel about Woolly Wormhead, the hat designer, please revisit my previous videos. It will be very clear. I've had this hat for a very long time, years and years, and it is a staple in my cool weather wardrobe. It's probably one of the first hats that I knit by Woolly Wormhead that introduced me to the sideways hat knitting technique. And by sideways, I mean creating a cylinder and hat shape by knitting back and forth in panels and creating crown shaping using short rows. So instead of the traditional method of casting on at the brim or even from the crown and knitting round and round to create a hat shape, Woolly's sideways hats are constructed as flat knits that are done in shaped panels that all connect with a seamless technique at the end to make what you see here. And this is just one of the architectural genius elements of Woolly Wormhead's patterns. I wear this a lot because A, it has my favorite colors in it, lots of tones of red, and B, I love the fit. The way the brim is constructed, you have a nice snug fit here where you want it to stay on and go over your ears. And then for me, because I have hair that's thick and luscious, it has room in the top to support my big head. And as usual, you can size these patterns accordingly because Woolly gives you lots of options. Around my neck this time is not a published pattern of any kind. This is one of my favorite stash buster knits. It's a garter stitch scarf. I'll show you some close-up detail of it. And actually this is a pattern this is an accessory that came about because I was going on a small retreat with a few of my friends to go sit by the beach and knit together, and I wanted a portable project, but before I could think of exactly what to make, I just threw a bunch of balls of yarn into my project bag that had been hanging around forever, and I loved the colors together, and by the time we started our retreat, I just decided a garter stitch scarf is going to be the best conversational knitting I could possibly ask for. It's a heavier weight yarn. I knew that striping would be pretty easy, and I went with it. What really makes it for me on this particular accessory is this jewel button, and I'll show you a close-up of that as well. I will link to the Jewel website. They have several leather and metal accessories, particularly for fiber crafty related things, but it just holds this scarf together right at my chest. See? It just holds it together right at my chest, kind of loosely in this case. I don't need that much coverage. And it's pretty and useful and reusable. So that's today's cool weather wear. Temperatures are rising. We're not going to talk about it. Let's look into the basket, shall we? Now, the thing about a review like this is that it could go on forever and ever. So what I'm going to do is just choose a few of these things because I have not looked in this basket in a while. There's quite a bit going on in here. I apparently had a lot of plans. So we may not get through them all, and that's fine. As I pull each one out, the likelihood that I've completely forgotten my original motivation is very high. No shame. Let's start with this one. This was a project bag just made by my friend SS, who is Critium Handmade. What could be in here? I mean, I had the idea that I could put whips and plans into project bags with patterns and, you know, most of what I need so that I could grab a project bag and go. Good intentions, right? And then I obviously got happily distracted by other things. Oh my. Okay. All right. Here we go. In this bag, we have a sock project. And what I'll try to do is, just because I want to give credit to the designers involved in this scenario, I will try to do a very good set of show notes about what these projects are. I know that these are the Whoops-A-Daisy socks by Charlotte Stone. I know that I tried to do a different heel type and fit in a heel flap and gusset into these socks. I mean, I was on my way. Let me not destroy the whole project by pulling everything out here. Okay, so yeah, definitely a work in progress that just got stalled. I started working on these after a trip to Norway earlier this year where I met Charlotte, fell in love with her and her designs, and got as far as finishing the cuff, the leg, and then started the heel. And this is not the heel that's called for in the pattern. It may be a short row heel to make it easy to start in on the color work, and I got the bright idea that I was going to try to modify this and got stalled. And if any of this information is wrong, I already want to apologize, and please have grace for me because it just has to do with how long it's been since I've touched any of this. And here I have clearly started the second sock, but cut off the cuff, I guess. I think I wanted to construct this toe up potentially. And so I cut off what had been the cuff with the intention to pick these stitches back up and start again. Guys, only past Mars knows what was happening here. I'm gonna tuck that back into the bag. I'm gonna put this in the category of will revisit. Let's put that over here. There's another one. This gorgeous bag is made by Twist Fiber Studio, and it was eco-printed by my love, Maria. Look at that beautiful plant printing. I love this bag. I also decided to put these projects into project bags that I am in love with because I thought that would help to motivate me when it came time to do something with them. What's in here? All right, there's a pattern printout in here. Oh, I remember this. Apparently I wanted to make this Hikari. That's a beautiful top. It's a Fiber Company pattern, very drapey looking short sleeve top, and I have plans to make it in some Fiber Company yarn. This is gorgeous. In this pretty color, right? Yeah. This yarn is Meadow. It's a blend of llama, silk, linen, and merino wool. I'm going to go on instinct here. You guys are getting this somewhat live, at least in the moment for me. I still want this top. I still want to make this top. Having this yarn in my hand, I remember why I wanted to work with it. So this is also going into the revisited and hopefully begin it pile. I'm noticing that in this bag, I've put in a Gage Hill Crafts lotion bar for hand care. That's a little better. I love that I put a lotion bar in the bag. I mean, I was fully prepared to care for my hands as I make this. I haven't seen many of these things in literal months. What else? Oh, here's a stunner. This project bag was made by my friend Kate of Hawthorne Cottage in commemoration of our meetup at Edinburgh Yarn Festival back in 2019 when we would go to the outside. Check out the lining on that. So good, Kate. What's in here? Oh, okay. I recognize the yarn right away, but I'm not recalling the guys. Apparently, I was going to knit a sweater, a pullover, based on my own measurements. I've got a hand-drawn schematic here with lots of measurements on it, pretty detailed measurements. Yay, previous me. Raglan. It was going to be a raglan bottom-up sweater. And the yarns that I have in here are some Knit Picks bear yarns that I know I dyed myself. Let me show them to you. Let me show you some of them. I'm just pulling out, there's a lot of little balls and mini skeins and stuff in here. So I can tell from this that I was planning on doing some striping. And I actually know of another place in the house where I have a swatch of these yarns. I'm not sure why. I think that they're in some partial and some full skeins because I must have started and then pulled it out. And so if I had already started the stripes, that would explain these little bits. Why didn't I? Shame-free zone. We don't know why I stopped doing this, but I will tell you my gut reaction is good on me for this idea. Do I still want to make a bottom-up raglan sweater of my own design to my measurements with this yarn? I kind of do. I kind of do. Oh. Okay, so on my right, I have the revisit pile for sure. I definitely want to go back to. Right in front of me, I'm going to put the keep for a little longer and think about. Let's do a couple more. This is a bountiful basket, okay? This project bag I made using some gorgeous tweed that I picked up at a yarn festival and some very old stash fabric, some quilting cotton, and a gorgeous button that I was gifted. Button loop closure. What's in here? Oh, I was just thinking about this project the other day. I should have known this would just make me want to work on all the things still. Okay, this is the Good Day Tea. I'll bring it up close. It's called the Good Day Tea, and it's by Annie Lupton. Can you see there the kind of nice loose shaped top, short sleeves? The really cool shaped high-low hem. Annie Lupton is an excellent designer, by the way. And I remember being very enamored with the construction of this top. Here's the schematic. I'm not going to share any other details. Because it was meant to be some very straightforward panels. And it was meant to be a knit to be done with ease. Oh my goodness, you guys. I had already done a whole lot of... Anyway, so you can take my word for it. I'd done a whole lot of marking up and calculations, and it looks like I got underway with this a good bit. All right, let's look at it. The reason I said, oh, when I opened the bag is because I remember starting this while I was visiting Maria in North Carolina. Maria is Ninja Chickens out here on YouTube and on Instagram, if you'd like to visit her and fall in love with her like I have. And I remember using sock blanks that Maria had eco-printed. Let's have a look at one. So sock blanks, for those who don't know, are basically machine knitted panels of machine knitted yarn that come in these panels that Maria so cleverly dyes and eco-prints. Eco-printing is basically the process of transferring the images from plants and their dye colors onto a surface. And I bought some of these sock blanks from her, and instead of using them for socks, this is some eucalyptus, I know for sure. Instead of using them for socks, I am enamored with the idea of using them for garments. Hence, pairing them with the Good Day Tea. And actually, when I was with Maria on that visit, we had done some dyeing together with different flowers and plants. So some of these that are these beautiful peachy yellows are sock blanks that we dyed in some playtime together. And I thought they would look great in this t-shirt together, to the point where I actually started the knit. Now, because the sock blanks are machine knit, as you unravel them from that panel, you've got the spaghetti yarn scenario, which I don't mind, because what it does is it creates this very textured knit. And so you get all the dimension from the plant colors and the natural dye, but you also get a little bit of nubbliness from the fact that you're knitting with pre-knit yarn. So it looks like I started, and I've gotten at least some form of, I've gotten through some part of the shaping. And as I said, I was just thinking about this project the other day. You know, thinking, hey, I should get back to that. I was actually really enjoying that. As I think about this one, what I know is that it will take some time for me to sit with it, to sit with my pattern notes, and figure out where I was. Sometimes that's what stops me from going back to an abandoned project, is getting back into the headspace where I was and restarting almost. Not necessarily restarting the project from the beginning, but restarting the mindset that I had when I originally cast it on. I'm in between on this one, because it's not so much knitting that's done that I couldn't frog it and start again or start something else, but it's enough knitting and seeing it again that I am not quite ready to fully abandon it yet. I think this one is going in the middle pile. Right is definitely revisit. Middle is, I need a little more time. And I'm going to decide that left is, this is not going to happen anytime soon. Let it go. Let's see if we get to one of those in the next couple bags. I hope you're enjoying this review process with me, but mostly I hope that you may feel some encouragement if this is a process that might be helpful to you with your projects and your works in progress and your plans. To the middle. Oh, I love this bag. This one is from Allison at Daisy Lane Design. Isn't that pretty? It's got the most lovely velvety bottom. And what is in here? Well, I already like what I see in terms of yarn. Oh yeah. Some Wing and a Prayer. Farm yarn, people. Soft spot already. And when I say farm yarn, I take that to mean some very woolly, sturdy, sheepy yarn. In this case, from a farm that I know and love, from a farmer, a shepherdess that I love. This is a 100% Shetland 2-ply. It's showing up pretty bright on the camera. I'll hold it back a bit. It is a plush soft gray. Yeah. Plans for this one. A Libby Johnson pattern, Truly Myrtle. The Pohika? I think it's Pohika. It's a wrap. Yeah, I can totally see why I would have wanted a beautifully shaped wrap out of this yarn. Yep. I remember putting this aside together. Very likely I'd already thought about the yardage requirements and looked at what I could use 2 skeins for. This is very tempting. I'll tell you what's going through my mind is 2 skeins, farm yarn that I love, a wrap, beautiful texture. The pattern's pretty short, whether or not that means it's easy, I don't know. Very tempting. That's what's going through my mind. Very tempting to keep. In fact, very tempting to cast on. Yeah. This one I feel like I'm going to put on the right hand side. Oh, I would like to do this if you'll allow me. That's Allison's shop logo. Daisy Lane Design. Amazing project bags. I'm going to put this on the right because this actually feels like something I could turn to pretty quickly without a lot of fuss and figuring. Now remember, right side is revisit. That doesn't necessarily mean cast on or continue. It just means revisit. Let's see. Let's do 2 more, guys. Did I say that before? If you're still here, you're along for the ride, and I appreciate you allowing me this time to process. Here's a John Arbin tote. Little John Arbin tote action. Huge fan of the John Arbin Textiles Mill over in Devon, UK. I naturally dyed this because they come in a very nice canvas color. You can see a little bit of the remaining original color there. Can't remember what I naturally dyed this with. It's kind of a purplish gray. Maybe some logwood. Could even be avocado with a bit of modifier. Who knows? But I love, I love using their totes for natural dyeing. Just an extra little thing. Adding my own touch to something I already enjoy. Ah, yes. Okay, so in this bag is a single skein of yarn in natural gray. And it's a Middlebrook Fiberworks vintage number 6. The yarn is one that I wanted for a long time and was able to collect in person from Anne Choi, the shepherdess of Middlebrook Fiberworks. Look at this. Hello, the squish, the bounce, the plies, the sheep. What I wanted to make with this stunning skein was the Clark socks by Jacqueline Salem. Some of you might be fans of Jacqueline. Beautiful cabley sock pattern. And this yarn is Shetland, silk, and ramie, a plant fiber. So I know from reading that I chose this for socks because it's woolly. And it has silk and ramie fibers that I know will add, that will add strength and durability to socks and help me in constructing something that's going to last a long time. This Clark socks pattern has been around for a while, and I believe I was gifted the pattern by a friend of mine. I remember the pattern being a gift, and I remember feeling like this match was meant to be. The yarn has such a good ply structure to it that I know cables would pop and they would really stand out with this type of yarn. Oh, that's a revisit. That's a revisit. I don't have any socks on the needles. Can you believe it? That could change. One more. Here's another project bag that I made. This was fun. Cute little tote, toady tote. Ha! This little accessory on the side here, just some beads, some beadwork, and in between the colorful beads, I put letter beads that say "Mama." Little known fun fact: I used to go by the username Mama Mars. Yeah, I love that I put that on there. What's in here? Haha, no surprise. Another sock plan. Oh, yes. Okay. These are the Havu socks. This was a test knit that I had every intention of doing and did not finish. I said yes to the test knit at a time when I was doing my own sock pattern design and did not realize all of what it would take to complete a sock pattern design process, and underestimated my ability to do that and test knit for someone else. So my apologies again, Mina of Finn Frost Designs, because I didn't complete that test knit. Here is a peek at the socks. What I have is the test knitter's copy. It is now available, fully available. So these are the Havu socks. How gorgeous is that stitch pattern? I mean, you can see why I was tempted to jump in on a test knit for these. And I wanted to pair this. This is some Phileas yarn, and I'm almost positive this yarn was gifted to me as part of a swap from one of my UK friends. Look at this prettiness. A nice tonal peachy pink. It's coming through more pink on camera than it is in real life. There's actually some more orangey yellow tones to it. And I know that I chose a tonal so that it wouldn't compete with the beautiful texture and lace in the sock. I'm gonna put these in the middle. And I'm putting them in the middle as a, I'm not sure I'm gonna continue with this, because I'd like to go back and look through the pattern. I can see the chart for the lace and it looks very doable. And as I said, I don't have socks on the needles. So I just want to spend a little bit more time with it, knowing that I'm not sure if I'm going to continue down this path or not. And also because I may change my mind about the yarn. Now this is a British BFL and bamboo sock yarn. So that combination is very, very tempting, very alluring. But I didn't have a gut reaction to, I think I'm going to want to cast this on soon. So it's going in the middle. I have nothing on the left side yet of the we're not doing this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 revisits and 3, maybe not. I'm going to finish there, friends. Yeah, there are 2 bags left. And I just feel like for a short check-in, we don't need to go any further right now. It's kind of fun to go back and try to, I think 7 items is enough to sit with and think through, which is what I plan to do with these. I will either continue to work on these projects in the coming weeks or put the yarns and patterns away somewhere that's not immediately to hand. And if I do that, then I can let those go for now. Who knows, they may come back, but my intent is to go through this set that I've shared with you and figure out their next step, whether they will stay in my immediate plans or not. Thank you so much for sitting through this with me. I hope that it has been, I don't know, I hope it's been an idea spark for you maybe. If you're at the point where you'd like to revisit some of your whips and hadn't quite done it yet, maybe this is that nudge from your friend Mars. I certainly appreciate the ability to record this and share it publicly, to revisit it myself. My wish for you in the coming days is that you find time to reflect on whatever it is that's going to free you up to spend more time doing what makes you happy. And I will look forward to seeing you back here again very soon. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you'd like, stick around for just a couple minutes and I'll share a little music and some natural dyeing footage that I took today. Enjoy that, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.